Welcome everybody to Resident Evil 4. Well, not quite. This is a parody in the style of a visual novel of Resident Evil 4. Someone told me about this game and I was looking at it, and I saw a couple stills from it and I thought it was hilarious. So let's just get right into it. This is Otome edition, so it would start Ashley, like her point of view of what was going down. But this is a parody. This is not endorsed by Capcom in any way whatsoever. Whether the full game comes out, you know, as anyone's guess. Who knows if they get like a cease and desist thing, you know. Let's start it up.
Resident Evil 4.
Never gets old. "2004. I'll never forget it. It was the year when a stunningly handsome man rescued me from a weird cult." Is there an options menu by chance? I don't think so. Oh well. "Soon after I was kidnapped, the news was out to my father, the President of the United States, that it was the doing of the mysterious organization Los Iluminados. The cult's influence spread first to a rural village in Spain and hit the peaceful little town with a devastating blow, crippling its very foundation. Taking an enormous chance, my father ordered a lone secret agent to infiltrate the cult headquarters and rescue me. His intent, I assume, was to keep the whole affair from going public. The mission was ultimately successful, but I can't say I walked away unscathed. I've learned since then that there is a price to pay for everything in this world. The price of my life? Nothing less than love." You know, it's really the next logical step Capcom could take with the Resident Evil series is just make it a full visual novel. 12 years earlier. That's quite some time. Ah, here we go. Can I, of course. Of course, there's no option, man. That's okay. Whew. Exams are done, so thank goodness. God, I can't believe I'm going to make a C in government. I can just hear Daddy griping about it. Think of the headlines, Ashley. President Stoddard can barely pass college government course. Administration's credibility in doubt. It's not that it was hard, just supremely dull. Politics is already tedious, and it didn't help that Professor Hollycock was so old and monotone. Where are all the young, hot teachers? That's what my generation needs. Maybe I could make that my pet political project. Well, I guess I'll have plenty of time to think about pitch while I'm driving back to DC. It's so stupid that I still can't fly back. Freaking terrorists ruin everything. I took a deep breath and exhaled slowly. Well, the rubber isn't going to burn itself. Plus, I don't want to run into that snobby bitch, Jenna. She's such a bitch. All she does is go out about her grades. I started walking to the residential hall parking lot when I spotted a flashy car parked at the curb. More surprising was the bulky man holding a sign with my name on it. Oh my god. "Excuse me, sir, but are you looking for me?" "I'm your driver. Yes, I've come to take you away to where you're going." "A driver? Oh, that was sweet of Daddy to send me one. Nice car, too. It's a Benz?" "Yes, it's a smooth ride. Now come with..." You know, I don't think I've ever seen you before, honestly. You look a little more like a Marine than a driver. Especially with the knife and the grenades. Drivers have to be prepared these days. You never know who might try to kidnap you. I guess that's true. Although you still might want to work on your tact a little more. Chuckling suspiciously at the end of a sentence isn't a good way to instill confidence. I'll keep that in mind. Let's go then. I don't know. Maybe I should take my own car. No offense to you. Hey, didn't catch your name.
It's Klauser.
Klauser? Is that German or Austrian, maybe? You do remind me a little of Arnold Schwarzenegger. What, with the muscles and the scowl? Total Recall is one of my favorite movies. Oh yeah, it's a good one. I'm partial to Conan the Destroyer myself. Me too, so why don't you come with me so we can discuss our mutual interests? See, there you go again, pausing all suspiciously. I ought to go with you just to help you with your mannerisms. I have a lot of training, and not so seeming suspicious after all. I sounded really proud as I said that. I wasn't sure it was the kind of thing to be proud of. Yeah, sure, you are the one who can help me with my problem. Now let's go. He threw the paper aside with an exaggerated motion. What a maverick, littering a wall right next to a garbage bin. I just don't know about this guy. Although losing the board made his hands seem empty and a little grabby, I crossed my arms over my chest. Maybe we can rain check, Clouser. I really would prefer to drive myself back. I might make some pit stops, you know, and all my CDs are in the car, so... Okay, I closed the window next to me, so hopefully the rain doesn't come through. God damn it, girl, just... Hey, is that Ashley? Ashley, you're leaving already? Let's compare grades real quick. I looked to my left to see Jenna running her skank ass towards us as fast as her absurd heels would let her. Christ on a cupcake, it's Jenna. Get in the car, Clouser. We'll talk about making some pit stops while we're on the road. Go, go! I leapt into the car without a moment's hesitation, and Clouser jumped into the driver's seat. Finally. Clouser, now's not the time for doobies chuckling. Let's go! Your wish is my command. As I got comfortable in the passenger seat, Clouser threw one of his grenades out of the window toward the approaching Jenna. For a moment I thought it was going to explode on Jenna, and I felt guilty that I wasn't all that worried about it actually hitting her. But it just seemed like a flash grenade. You know, not that I mind seeing Jenna cling to her eyes in fear and confusion, but are you trying to seem shady? I get enough media following me as is. Just having a little fun. We're not in the action movies, you know, I grumbled. Although he certainly has tried to look the part. Maybe it's a dream of his or something. I waved innocently to Jenna as Clouser sped off. Naturally, she continued to scream out in terror. I guess it is a little fun. I wonder if I should tell Clouser that the speed limit on campus is only 15 miles per hour. Nah, we'll be fine. I gazed out the window, watching the campus shrink away. Wouldn't have taken Clouser for the Samba type. I wonder if he's gay. Not that there's, you know, any correlation between the two. Just getting a vibe, is all. Still, I wish he'd say something. This awkward silence is killing me. I can just hear Dad now. Ashley, don't expect of others what you're unwilling to do yourself. I know. I need to be more assertive, and it's good to be able to connect with people different from me. But seriously, what do I say? So how much fun are steroids? God, there's gotta be something. I turned this music knob down a little, and Clouser's eyes darted toward me. Definitely should avoid the steroid question. Hey, Clouser, don't tell my dad that I said crust on a cupcake, okay? He's really picky about my language. I have to play the part of the dutiful daughter, you know? Yeah, I'll just, you know, take that as my lips are sealed kind of thing. So, how'd you get that scar, if you don't mind me asking? Why so serious? Jeez. Right. I get it. We all want our mysteries. I bet women love that, though, right? I mean, what girl could resist silence, scars, and muscles? Right? I'm gay. Oh, right. Of course. Sorry, I didn't mean to assume. It's just a perfectly valid lifestyle. Commendable, really. God made me this way. Yeah, totally. Man, I so called that. So good. So, yeah. This is probably going to take a while, huh? This trip, I mean, if we keep going like 95 like we are now, I'm thinking maybe 5 hours? No, it won't. It won't? We'll be at the helipad in less than 5 minutes. Wow, so we're going to fly after all. I knew Dad would pull through. Yikes. Honestly, I'm okay with him being gay. I shifted uncomfortably, not knowing what else to say. He turned the music back up and we drove in awkward silence for the next few minutes before arriving at the helipad. We stopped at a suspiciously empty and remote helipad. I had a sinking feeling in my gut that something was amiss. Hey, Krauser, I don't think this is an official U.S. military helipad. How astute of you. And it's Krauser. Krauser? That's way more evil sounding. You tricked me, you dirty bastard. What's going on? We're kidnapping you, Ashley. I'm surprised you didn't catch on sooner. Very blonde of you. How could you do this to me, Krauser? I thought we trusted each other. I bet you're not even gay. It doesn't matter what I am. What matters is getting you safely to Lord Sadler. Lord Sadler? My God, what kind of political scandals am I getting wrapped up in this time? Enough talk. Can't have you chattering the whole way. With lightning reflexes, he shoved a needle into my arm. Before I had time to scream out, I felt my body collapsing from whatever drug the newly named Krauser had injected. This game is hilarious so far. I love it. I love the humor. I awoke, disoriented. I weakly tried to move my arms, but they were restrained by something. Is that music I hear? Why does it seem so jaunty? Save your energy, Ashley. You are my bitch now. I struggled to open my eyes and wish I hadn't bothered. Is this that Lord Sadler man that Krauser mentioned? And did he just come from a gothic Ren fair or what? In just a moment, you will have a parasite shoved deep into your body in a vaguely phallic way. Seriously, who says stuff like that and then guffaws? It's like some cartoon villain making a cameo on Cinemax. Don't try to struggle. It will only increase my pleasure. Soon you will be impregnated with our power. My God, it's just like Rosemary's Baby. And I hated that movie. Where am I? Spain, if you must know. But don't worry. You won't be here for long. You'll go as quickly and quietly as you came. That's what she said. Just screw you. Who knows what the future holds. Now my minion injector with the Las Placas. Remember to put the needle in very slowly. Lord Sadler. God alive, he's even worse than Saddle Man. At least he's moving in my periphery. I felt a prick at the nape of my neck, followed by something shooting into my bloodstream, something slimy. I would have felt more revolted had I had the energy. The perfect penetration, minion. You shall be spared the acid bath tonight. Cerebros, cerebros, cerebros. Don't worry, you'll be eating someone out very soon. I could feel my already tenuous consciousness begging to fade again. Sorry, beginning to fade again. I can't even talk, I'm so faded. I struggled to stay awake, but it was in vain. I could only take comfort in the departure of those disgusting men's faces and their horrible innuendos, and that damn music. You got power? You got power on your mind? I woke some time ago to a loud chime of a bell. It seemed somewhat like a church bell. Given how close the sound was, I assumed I was in said church. I tried again and again in vain to open the door. I'm really regretting not dating the locksmith who was flirting with me in political science. And that's not exactly something I regret a lot, mind you. My neck. My hand reflexively rubbed the sore spot. I know it's not polite, but seriously, fuck that ugly saddle man. I feel so violated and dirty right now. I dread to think what else they plan to do to me. I don't even have the great sense of how long I've been here. Maybe a couple of days? It feels like years of my life have simply vanished. Hopefully that's just spiritual. Overprotective as he is, Dad has surely noticed my disappearance by now, but even if so, how is he supposed to know where I am? I could be dead long before they initiate any formal investigations. I can't. I have to try. Try and stay hopeful. I begin fidgeting with my scarf to distract myself. Hey, wait a second, I feel something. What the hell is this? Oh my God, is this a miniature tracking device embedded in the fabric? How in the world? Wait, where did I get this scar from? Didn't my CIA ex-boyfriend Victor give me the scar for my birthday last year? Victor, you creep! Gah! This is why I broke up with you. But wait a second. This is a tracking device. That means that someone might know where I am. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I've never been happier to have a stalker ex-boyfriend. Although, seriously, if I get out of this, he's dead. I began inspecting the device. Naturally, it looks like a cheaper model. Typical Victor. Probably jury-rigged one he bought from a pawn shop. Still, these things usually beep red when they're active. Damn it, I don't see anything. I wonder how long it's been busted. Be just my luck that it broke forever ago. Still, this is all I have to hope for. Ugh, so barely better than I had 5 minutes ago. I jumped upon hearing some movements in the church. Some more of those freaky-looking cultists, probably. Maybe they came to pray for Rogaine. The movement is different, though. It almost sounds like a chandelier rocking back and forth weird. Some kind of ritual, maybe? Yeah, considering my experience so far, this wouldn't really surprise me. Nonetheless, I'm terrified. It was quiet for a minute. Then I heard the dry screech of a mechanism rising. Steps drew nearer, closing in on my makeshift prison. I felt a tinge of fear and anticipation. My throat was dry. I huddled in the corner of the room, even though it probably wouldn't do anything against attackers. I shouldn't have taken those self-defense classes. I should have taken those self-defense classes instead of Construction 101. When am I ever going to find a chance to use a bulldozer anyway? Damn it! I spotted a plank of wood on the ground next to me. Would it do anything? No. Would I feel better throwing it? Oh, yes. The doorknob gave a creaky sigh as it began to turn. My heart raced. My eyes darted from the door to the plank, now or never.
Ashley!
Don't come! I screamed. Ah! I chucked the plank I had been eyeing at the mystery man who entered. As expected, it did not slow his progression in the slightest. Hey, take it easy. How dare he tell me to take it easy after what happened with Krauser? Ashley Graham is nobody's fool. No, get away. I persisted and huddled against the barrel in fear.
Calm down. Everything's going to be just fine. My name's Leon. I'm under the President's order to rescue you.
Dear God, I am so sorry about the time I... Wait, what? My father? I felt a surge of relief. Hooray, rescues! Hooray, Dad! Hooray, being stalked. Well, not so much the last one. My heartbeat began to slow a little, giving me a chance to examine my rescuer in full. That's right, and I have to get you out of here. Now come with me. Ah. Ba-dump. As my eyes feasted on the Adonis in front of me, my vision became inexplicably clouded by bubbles and sparkles and general girlishness. I relished every beautiful manly drop. I had a million questions to ask him, but my tongue was dragging on the floor in the wake of his sexiness, so I just followed him instead. As soon as I was up, Leon pulled out what looked like an old walkie-talkie. Wow, I haven't seen one of those in a while. I thought those lines were notoriously easy to jack. Oh, I know. He's using it because no one would suspect the U.S. agent used such outdated tech. Genius! It's Leon. I've successfully succeeded in extricating my subject. I love a man with a big vocabulary. Swoon. He could extricate me anytime. Oh, wait, I guess he already is.
Where's the extraction point? Got it. On my way.
I wanted to make conversation since I hadn't spoken to anyone who wasn't gross or Spanish for an indeterminate time, but he seemed busy? Breaking barrels? Maybe he's making sure there's no cultist spies hiding in the barrels? No spies, huh? That's for the best. I really didn't want to think he just peeped down by perverts this whole time. Still, I can appreciate a man who's thorough in his work. I thought he might ask me about my general state of health at least, but he moved briskly toward the door. Is he the tsundere type? I hope not. I always hate those. Whoa, this testosterone is palpable. But hey, any dude could open a door for a lady. It takes a real gentleman to open them in a way that reflects how badly she wants to exit said door. We ran down the snaking corridor and approached the ladder. Someone carry me up this thing? That seems crazy, but par for the course, I guess. Before I could even look over the edge, I jumped to the ground below, landing with a confident thud. What a badass! He looked up at me. My instinct was to pull down my skirt. He may be cute, but a woman must protect her dignity, after all. Plus, these lacy panties are kind of revealing. Can't show all my cards too soon. Leon continued to face the ladder. What? Does he want me to jump down too? You think he would say something. I guess we are in a hurry. Okay, Ashley, you can do this. Surely he'll catch me, right? I gathered up my resolve and jumped off the ledge. Yeah. With my eyes closed, I could only sense my stomach sinking from the fall. In the next instant, I felt his big, strong arms catch me. Wow, maybe this isn't going to be so bad after all. Not wanting to seem like I enjoyed it too much, I jumped briskly from his grasp and fell behind him. Oh man, how great would it be if there was just a platoon of equally hot Secret Service agents just waiting outside the church, ready to escort me out of this nightmare? Before we could even reach the door, a voice chimed in behind us. I'll take the girl. I've heard that voice before. That saddle bastard. Who are you? If you must know, my name is Osmond Monsalda, the master of this fine religious community. Awesome, Saddle. What a presumptuous name. Scientologist, probably. What do you want? Damn, this man is UGLY. It was already bad when I was barely conscious, and HD clarity isn't any improvement. Like, looking at him is making me retroactively an atheist. To demonstrate to the whole world, United States, kidnap, send her back. I was so preoccupied with throwing mental daggers at his face that I didn't really pay close attention to what he was saying. Something about giving me their power? Oh yeah, the injection! I should probably say something. Leon, I think they shot something in my neck. What did you do to her? Gift. Hell of a party. Loving father. Bargain. Donation. He's ugly. It's like something kind of a filter over my hearing. It's all this blah 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 sprinkled with a few keywords. Seriously? How does this man even exist in the same time space as Leon? Faith and money will lead you nowhere, Saddler. I don't really know what the conversation is, but yeah, you tell him, Leon. I gave you the same gift when I wasn't conscious. My God, but he looks fine from this angle. Wait, what? Same gift? Oh, Leon, no! We'll bond over this, I promise. Special contributions, my puppets. You'll do as I say. I'll have total control. Revolutionary. What's that about puppets? Never mind. I'm just gonna believe that he uses them to wink off. I'm imagining that now. Stop. Sounds more like an alien invasion if you ask me. Not the best comeback, but with hair like this, who needs wit? Suddenly, we were blocked from the exit by pale, ugly cultists. Frickin' satellites. Not gonna lie. Confident smirks of the what now bitch variety are undeniably sexy. Too bad it's on a face that not even Satan can love. Ooh la la, what are you throwing the side-eye, Leon? I might get the wrong idea. Leon grabbed me violently around the waist as the men took aim. In that moment, I understood why romance heroes grab women by the waist all the time. 'Cause it's hot. Shit! An arrow went right behind my ear, punching the stone wall instead of my brain. Fuck you, crossbow nerd! Leon pulled me to the end of the corridor, but all I could see was the glass window. Maybe he didn't know what to do after. Ah! Before I could even vocalize my surprise, we crashed through the window. I guess roller coats can't afford high-quality glass. As time slowed around us, I heard a distinct sense that Krauser wasn't the only one who thought this was an action movie. But I admit, it was a pretty awesome way to kickstart a relationship. Stupidly, I tried to land on my feet instead of rolling like Leon did. To be fair, I wasn't really prepared for the die-hard-ass shenanigans. Ever a gentleman, Leon jumped to my aid in a flash. Are you okay? It wasn't the most romantic way to inquire, but I could feel the sincere concern in his voice. Amazingly, I was okay. Nothing broken from the impact, and I only suffered some scrapes, which didn't seem worth mentioning. My mind wasn't so content with just relishing the miracle of the fall, though. It turned grimly to the thought of the parasitic life form now playing house with my insides. I wanted to cry. Leon, what's going to happen to us? Don't worry. We got in this mess, we can get out of it. I appreciate his use of we, as if it weren't simply his job to be here saving me. Sweet and confident in the same package. Could he be any hotter? Focus, Ashley. Between the cultist and the parasite, this is hardly the time to... Oh, he's got a little dirt on his face. So cute. My heart swelled as Leon took hold of my arm, his grasp both tender and protective. How fitting that I would go to church to find my personal Jesus. Once we were both up, I huddled close to Leon's back. Definitely not the worst view a girl could have. Looking around, it seemed like we had landed in some kind of external storage. There was little in the room aside from some bags and barrels, so I didn't imagine we'd loiter long. But Leon had other plans. Is this some kind of hobby of his? Or maybe barrels killed his parents, and now were he sworn to destroy all barrel kind? Oh, I had noticed before while I was salivating over Leon about ammo and gold coins seemed to be lying at the bottom of the barrels. This is a visual metaphor. Spanish gold coins do not usually come in little treasure boxes, but they might. Leon grabbed the goods and shoved them into his pockets. I guess that explains his obsessive interest in barrels. But who keeps that stuff in barrels and in such sparse quantities? Some kind of real treasure hunt? Looking for bullets and pocket change down at a local church? This man is weird. You know what's also weird? That we're not being shot full of arrows. I looked back at the shattered window. The satellites had not more than enough time to follow us. We're only a few feet down and would make for pathetically easy targets, and yet nothing. Does their cult Bible prohibit them from looking out of windows? Were they having a synergy meeting? Are they just squeamish about broken glass? I shrugged my questions aside, knowing there was probably no answers. And if there were, they were probably not worth knowing. I looked back at Leon, who finally seemed satisfied that he had fully raided the church provisions. We hustled over to the door and made our way outside. As we ran to the front of the church building, rain whipped ominously around us. We encountered what looked to be an angry mob of villagers. They were just groaning at first as they ambled slowly toward the church, then a few of them started to shout, "Un frosto, ahí está. No dejes que se escape." I don't know Spanish. So if I'm probably butchering that, I apologize. My Spanish is limited. Very limited. No habla español. Oh no, Ashley, you don't want to learn Spanish. That's the language of illegal immigrants. Learn something proud like German. Real great advice now, Dad. Hope they might just be here to fight the man for raising taxes and stealing the chickens. But then lunging toward us in a blind, shambling range squashed that idea pretty fast. Leon coolly stood his ground, gun drawn, wanting to seem useful. I quickly scanned the environment. I spotted some barrels sitting on a cart.
Leon, shoot those barrels on that wagon.
Nice voice clip. Without a word, Leon shot the barrels. I'm surprised he took my advice so readily. What a gentleman. I mean, yeah, he clearly loves destroying barrels anyway, but I'll pretend I had something to do with it. Perhaps more surprising was that the barrel spontaneously combusted, causing the wagon to roll toward the villagers like some kind of blazing poverty chariot. Blazing poverty chariot. Oh my god. I'm not sure why anyone would just keep explosive barrels in a graveyard, but I suppose I should just count my blessings. With the villagers crushed and or combusted by their own flaming paddy wagon, we took the opportunity to run past. Between the oppressive darkness and the driving rain, I could barely see the path, but Leon seemed to know where he was going, so I just followed closely. Man, this game is making me want to play Resident Evil 4 again. As a bolt of lightning tore across the sky, I realized that I was looking at a graveyard. That's not ominous at all, nuh-uh. One might say it's sacrilege to kill the faithful in such a hallowed place. But it's even greater sacrilege to think, well, at least you won't have to drag the bodies far. Having escaped the crazed villagers, we jogged leisurely down a narrow forest path and eventually entered what looked like a shed. There was no way forward. We could only descend the ladder in front of us. I felt apprehensive about what horrors might be waiting, but with Leon climbing down without so much as a disclaimer, I trusted that he would be okay. The ladder took us into a dark cavern, presumably built to connect disparate parts of the village. We moved briskly down the tight path and soon found ourselves in front of a rusty door. Leon boldly kicked the door open. I like a man who doesn't let a small thing like discretion hold him back. First thing that caught my eye was the dazzling blue flames perched atop two torches. It struck me as oddly comforting. Maybe that's why I was able to resist the urge to scream upon seeing the second thing. The merchant. Who's this guy, I wonder? Another secret agent or just your run-of-the-mill small-town gun nut going through a man cave phase? God, why am I seeing bubbles and sparkles again? This is not the time hormones. Whoa, why is my eye moving this way? Is the parasite giving me superpowers? Hands a little dirty. Well organized though, that's good. Yeah, it's a pro and a con. Conclusion? Maybe romanceable. More details required. Why am I so weird? Leon approached the man casually, so I assumed they were working together in some capacity. The more the merrier, I guess. He's not as romanceable looking as Leon, of course, but a girl in peril has to keep her options open.
Welcome. Got a selection of good things on sale, stranger.
Love that guy's voice. I'm glad they included it. Huh, not the accent I was expecting, but in a good way. Australian, maybe? I'm all about the thunder down under. Did I just really think that? Well, I questioned my moral credibility. Leon started looking through the man's inventory.
What are you buying? Thank you. Is that all, stranger? What are you selling?
The merchant quipped enthusiastically as Leon stoically pursued his wares. Maybe it's part of Leon's safety protocols to avoid conversation where possible.
Ah, I'll buy it at a high price.
The merchant man seemed pretty excited about some jewels Leon showed him. Whoa, is that a bejeweled beer stein? Why does that exist and where can I get one? Still, I can't believe they're making Leon break barrels and fill for valuables just to obtain supplies. Either my rescue was a low-budget affair, or our relationship with Spain is more tenuous than I realized. You know, I thought that was really weird about the game, where they send one dude to go rescue this guy's daughter in the middle of nowhere with no leads. Like, really?
Come back any time.
They cut it off there. Finished with shopping, Leon resumed jogging down the tunnel. I thought I should wave to the merchant man, but I didn't want to mistakenly initiate another romance just yet. We ran further into the tunnel and stopped abruptly in front of a shallow puddle. Leon drew his gun and took aim. Wonder what that was for. Testing the water for traps, maybe? Oh, I know. The particular malnourished cultist can blend in with the puddles. Got you figured out, Saddle. Whatever the reason, Leon swept right past the flame like a man on a mission. Which he was, of course. But what I really mean is that he hurried over to a box tucked in the nook in the wall. As if by instinct, he drew his knife. Because what is a box, if not a barrel disguised as a rectangle? Oh my gosh. I love the writing. Aw, he missed. But hey, a little imperfection makes him even more handsome. Success. Well, as much chopping open a mobile box can be considered success, I won't rain on his parade. Leon hastily retrieved the ammunition lying so conspicuously in the box's remains. Whoever planned this operation was weirdly fastidious. But whatever gets my ass out of here. We ran through the remaining tunnel and climbed some stairs to another ladder leading upward. I huddled close to Leon again as he approached the door to the next room. I gotta remember to invite Leon to some parties. Specifically parties that feature both Jenna and doors. The room was empty of people, although someone obviously lived there, what with the dining table and wood-burning stove. The oddity of the room was the large typewriter stationed in the dining table. At first I thought maybe the owner just had a fondness for antiques. It didn't occur to me that maybe the person couldn't afford better tools. This area was painfully rural after all. The thought saddened me. While I was chewing on a bit of first-world guilt, Leon started typing away. Baffled, I looked over his shoulder. Perhaps he was a Hemingway aspirations? Would explain the terseness. As it happened, he was simply typing a record of his time and location. He also mentioned the round in mode, which didn't make any sense to me. Guess he's using the typewriter to let someone know his progress. Again, I couldn't tell if the orchestrator of this operation was extremely crafty or just plain eccentric. Probably the latter. After all, what better way to fight crazy than with a better funded crazy? And yet, Leon chops boxes like his life depends on it. Lord help us if the man ever applies his doge to something truly destructive like extreme couponing. You know, it was one thing when the box was placed in a conspicuous nook, but it feels a little wrong to destroy the boxes in people's homes. I mean, what if that box was the owner's last memory of the grandpa or something? For what it's worth, they are crazed cultists. We're lucky that box didn't actually contain grandpa. Well, wood under the stove now, I guess. I took a deep breath in preparation for what awaited us on the other side of the next door. We found ourselves once again assailed by rain and darkness. All of a sudden, the relative safety of the previous room seemed worlds away. An unnervingly low vibration hung in the air, stirring in me a feeling of dread. I followed as closely behind Leon as I could without being in his way. It didn't take long for the villagers to add their shrieks and bloodlust to our carnival of horror. They crept out from the shadows, weapons in hand. To be fair, those weapons were more like farm tools, but semantics. You would think not so awesome Saddler would spend a little more on his mobs to have better murdering equipment. Leon led me into a tower and started climbing up an uncomfortably tall ladder. Deciding my fear of heights was suddenly not as compelling as my fear of cultists, I followed suit. Phew, what a climb. Not a bad idea to stick to higher ground and force him into a funnel. We should be moderately safe, right? It's not like they can throw stuff this high, right? I scanned the area below for any cultists with pitching aspirations. Just then,
Wait here.
I froze in place, totally convinced that the cultists were drawing wings and that my expiration date was as good as past. Instead, but perhaps just as crazily, Leon stoically leapt from our perch like he didn't even believe in gravity or leg fractures. I need to know. Legs are literal steel or government implants. I squinted my eyes against the darkness, trying to watch for Leon's movement below. I wonder what his plan is. The sound of Leon's gun pierced the night, and also that cultist's face. So as the director approached then. I don't know if it's wise, but it certainly is manly. Leon rushed past the villager as he wailed in pain, but the darkness made it difficult to see what was going on. What the hell did I just see? Were those worms coming out of his head? Calm down, Ash. It's gotta be. Oh, sweet baby Jesus, it's not gonna be okay. I shakily looked up over the railing, driven by morbid curiosity or just a need to know Leon was safe. I couldn't say. Another villager has approached him, this time holding a torch. You know you're poor and you can't even bring a knife to a gunfight. Leon let a single round fly and the villager suddenly caught fire. Is this place's main export material that spontaneously combusts or what? Not content to let fire run its course, Leon placed another bullet in the villager's leg, bringing her to her knees. I feel bad for watching this. Maybe I shouldn't. Well, damn, Leon is so cool. Leon ran back to the base of the tower and called up to me. Follow me. I don't usually like being told what to do, but for Leon, I'll make an exception. I approached the ladder and prepared to climb down, but then it occurs to me, how much longer will I have the luxury of attractive men catching me when I jump? Seems like a waste to just do things normally. Hell yeah, that's fun. Now, if only he could extricate me bridal style, but alas. Yeah, I could definitely get used to that, which means I probably shouldn't give him my luck so far. We ran behind the tower down a dirt road. The whole area kind of reminded me of my great-grandmother, who lived in a rural part of Wisconsin. Just replace ominous torches with old street lamps and brainwashed cultists with trashy druggies. Otherwise, pretty much the same. As if on cue, some more of the villagers stumbled out from the darkness, torches and shovels in hand, spouting phrases in Spanish. De voy a hacer picadillo. Note to self, look up picadillo when I get back home. Might be a fun new swear word. Leon took steady aim and shot the two villagers in their knees. Tried but true, I guess. Amazingly, they were only stunned by the blow. Great-grandma was right. Rural folk are hardy. Leon briskly lowered his weapon and ran toward the villagers. Rather terrified by the whole thing, I just stayed put and watched the exchange from behind my fingers. My god, he's like if Chuck Norris were actually hot. With the peasants properly pummeled, we continued running down the path. There seemed to be a large gate at the end of the path. I could feel a surge of adrenaline in my legs as we approached. I don't know what was on the other side, but anything would be better than this death trap. Okay, that was a lie. Because there are a lot of things that could be worse, probably. Like, fucking Lord Sadler. No, bad brain. No one would ever want to ride that saddle. Stop it, please. A collision with Leon's shapely back muscles thrust me back into reality before I could dwell any longer in a much more awesome saddle. I was happy to bump into him, but not so enthused about stopping in the middle of hell country. I was about to ask what the big deal was, but I figured nagging at this juncture wasn't a good way to endear myself. Oh, another cultist with a torch. Poor thing is unarmed and unoriginal. Oh, look at him dodging out of the way. Yeah, that worked out about as well as I expected. In the abstract, I felt sorry for the man. What kind of person was he? What were his dreams? We left last line of defense Sky to his final moments of agony and rushed onward toward the gate, being sure to avoid bear traps along the way. Apparently, if you can't stop people with torches, tetanus is the next best thing. We passed through the wooden gate into what looked like a small ranch. I was trying to give Leon a little more space so as to avoid bumping into him. Although touching his back was like finger porn, I didn't want to crowd him. Before I ventured too far, Leon stopped abruptly at a waste bin. My initial thought was that the mission coordinates had stored more of his supplies in the garbage. Certainly wouldn't have been surprising. Ashley, get in. Wait, what? He seriously wants me to climb into the waste bin? Every fiber of my modern hygienic body resisted the request. But he hadn't led me astray up to this point, so I hopped in without question. I held my breath as I closed the lid above me. As I leaned down, I was surprised to realize that the bin was completely empty of garbage. Either rural Spain has pretty good sanitation management, or the villagers were too busy being crazy to throw their trash away. Although it didn't change the fact that the only handsome man around had just ordered me to sit in a musty waste bin in rural Europe with a parasite roaming around in my guts. Part of me felt severely frustrated, but Leon was an easy man to forgive. I shifted uncomfortably in the dumpster. Now that I was stationary, a flurry of arches and pains screamed out from my tension. Angered by the pain, I couldn't help but lash out at everything that seemed responsible for my predicament. Stupid trousers, stupid saddles, stupid gold, stupid Jenna, stupid government class, stupid dad for cutting my bodyguard allowance just because of that one time. Focus, Ashley. Think happy thoughts. Muy bueno. I shook the admittedly glorious image of Leon's sculpted, seductive visage from my mind. Just because I'm under way more stress than usual doesn't mean I have the right to sexually objectify him. I mean, I barely know him. Okay, I'm good now. It occurred to me that amidst my fantasies, that Leon might actually be in danger, or worse. Terrified by his prospect, I tried to peek out for a look, but I knew it would be just my luck that some stray cultist would walk by at the moment and see me. Instead, I placed my ear close to the wall of the bin, being careful not to get too close. I certainly didn't have enough of my shots to be avoiding the insides of rural cultist dumpsters. I strained my ear, listening intently to the world outside my garbage sanctuary. I couldn't hear much at all, aside from the occasional thunderclap in the distance. That frightened me. I expected to at least hear some scruffles. But before the creeping terror of my savior's demise would ensnare my thoughts, the shrill sound of a gunshot burst into my eardrum. A somewhat morbid but nonetheless comforting symbol of hope and salvation. Well, for me, anyway. Assured of Leon's survival, I resumed my effortless listening. I heard a few more gunshots and some muffled screaming that gave the impression of someone falling from a fair height. What kind of ass was Leon kicking out there? A series of some thunderclaps prevented me from hearing any more. No sounds took their place as they faded, though. All was quiet on the Spanish front. I listened closely, my heart racing and my eyes darting. Was Leon okay? Were the cultists gone? Could I get out of this godforsaken dumpster? Then I heard it. The sharp sound of a whistle. But not some jaunty whistle, like from the song Saddleside was playing. It reminded me of how cartoon characters would whistle at a dog. I was nonplussed, to say the least, but I guess it was a friendly signal. Not wanting to think too hard on it being something like a mutt rooting around in the trash, I hastily threw open the lid in the bin and tumbled out. Thank God that's over. By the way, if I smell like rotten meat products, that's just too bad for Leon. Speaking of Leon, I scanned the area for him. It was difficult to see, but I found him by the light of strained lightning bolts, standing on what seemed like a bridge connected to the farmhouse. In that moment, his golden locks seemed like a beacon of a lighthouse shining fiercely against the cold black sea. He truly was poetry in motion. Swoon. Actually, is he aiming at something? Followed his line of sight to the tree looming above me. Oh, hey, there's something blue and shiny hanging from one of the branches. And gone. Was it a priceless religious artifact or just another bizarrely planned challenge? The world may never know. Well, doesn't seem like he's making any move to jump down and escort me out of here. So I guess he did kill who knows how many people for my safety, so I'll cut him some slack and do some leg work. I hurried over to the farmhouse. On my way, I was surprised by the lack of bodies on the ground. It seemed impossible, but so did a lot of things. Maybe the cultists are just literalists on the whole dust-to-dust concept? As I ran, I became poignantly aware of how insane this all was. People dying, and for what? Was it all just for politics? Who stood to gain? One power-hungry old man, or was this bigger than Sadler? Bigger than all of us? What if this goes all the way to the Illuminati? Amidst my struggles to glimpse the machinations of this world, it didn't take long to reach Leon. Seemed like we were safe for the moment. I thought to make some quick conversation. There were certainly no topics on my mind. Oh. Dog whistle? Seriously? Before I could open my mouth to speak, Leon turned around and began jogging away. I was a little disappointed, but in hindsight, a rickety bridge wasn't probably the best place to have a chat. Leon leapt down from the bridge. I could see a ladder on the ground already. I'm going to presume he kicked that down because he likes catching me so much. It occurred to me that Leon could look up my skirt if he wanted, but he just stood there with the solemnity of a nun. Hopefully that means he's a gentleman and not... No, actually, don't even entertain the thought. Yep, still fun. Though I do wonder if that's good for Leon's back. There was another giant wooden gate in front of us, once again guarded by bear traps. I see the creativity well has run pretty dry in these parts. Leon stepped up carefully to the traps and drew his knife. Is he really going to slash it closed? Talking about having a conservative mind. My eyes reflexively clamped shut alongside the trap. Oh, thank God he still has beautiful arms. With the path clear, we moved toward the gate. I hoped deep down in my heart that the next area would be less threatening to my overall health. Okay, so we're playing Leapfrog now? I know I said I like touching his back, but it seems a little inappropriate. Oh, wait. He must not think that we can just go through the gate, so he must want me to climb over it. Oh, that's probably... Go me! He could have saved us from trouble by just talking like a normal person. I swear, it's like he believes the strong silent type is an actual personality. I need to think about whether that's stupidly sexy or just really stupid. For now, I'll just trust there's a real reason for all these nonverbal communication. I hurriedly climbed onto his back. He struggled briefly to push me up and managed to straighten out completely, raising me several inches higher. Muscles. I reached for the top edge of the gate and hoisted myself over as quickly as I could. I wish that Leon's muscles had some sort of sharing plan. With a great effort, I pulled myself to the top of the gate and swung my legs over. I was tempted to look down at Leon from the height to see his beauty from a bird's eye view, but I didn't want to hesitate, so I jumped down immediately. And no one to catch me this time. You can do this, Ashley. 1, 2, 3. I hit the ground pretty hard, no doubt scuffing my boot and tearing a ligament. But I put the pain aside and looked toward the barrel gate. I was difficult to see in the darkness, so I felt around with my hands. There was a large plank covering the door, but I easily pushed it up to the side.
I opened it, Leon.
I whispered, not wanting to attract the attention of any cultists who might be out for a midnight stroll, or whatever it is weirdos do during storms. Leon opened the door as cool and serious as ever. I happily fell behind him as we ran forward. I was surprised at how much I missed him in that short amount of time. It was only a minute, but it felt like a millennium. As we jogged into the next area, I had hoped this nightmarish vacation would conclude a little more quickly. Thanks for playing the demo of Resident Evil 4 Otome Edition. Pretty crazy experience so far, right? Action, adventure, and abject horror all pulled together by a little bit of romance. If you enjoyed the demo, please leave some encouraging feedback. If you notice issues or have constructive criticism, please tell us about those too. Look forward to future updates. I'm not escaping Spain without your help. So, what'd you all think of the game? I thought it was pretty funny. I really liked the writing, and I hope they're actually able to finish the game. I really enjoyed it. So, that's that for that game. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.